This sense of having a center is the core contraction of the self. When that center comes undone, because there's been a profound or radical, although quiet, shift in perspective, if you like. All that life force that was invested in keeping that center together can flow into the whole of you, and reorganize or realign that which has been out of alignment, that which has been out of sync, if you like, with the intelligence of love. So when the core contraction comes undone, we live without a center. Contraction and openness or expansion can still take place on the periphery. On the periphery of the personhood, the functional self. We are in a fluid response to stimuli, to the environment, internal and external. And that means we can experience a sense of contraction if there is pain or danger, and we can experience expansion or openness when we feel safe, and so on. This can all happen on the periphery. If the core contraction of self is still in place, then all of that becomes, if you like, problematic. And we try to fix it and change it. And we try to apply ourselves to remaining open or getting rid of the contraction. But when the center has come undone, none of this peripheral movement matters. It's not a problem. It doesn't go to the core of you. It's just the movement of life, just as the breath is an in-breath and an out-breath, just as the heartbeat is a pulse. Just as every part of the functioning self, the cellular self, the cells are contracting and opening. Everything is a rhythm, the rhythm of life. This we do not have to change. It simply becomes a ripple on the surface. But when the core contraction comes undone, not only is life force, life energy freed up, but also there is space. That space allows life to, if you like, move through us unimpeded. This we can experience as grace. Grace isn't something that happens to us like a lightning bolt from heaven when we're good enough or worthy enough. Grace is the movement of life, the movement of love through an unimpeded vehicle. It's not simply about good things happening, blessings landing in our lap. It's almost like a river that flows through us. And the periphery, the vehicle, that boundary that once seemed so solid, is experienced as transparent, permeable. Not only does life move through us more gracefully, but we are more graceful. It's as if we live more gracefully within life. What does that mean? That means we're not demanding. We're not demanding for our needs to be met. We're not demanding or begging or bartering with life to give us what we want in order to feel better about ourselves, in order to add another layer of identity. These are the acquisitions that we're being invited to let go of as such, empty ourselves of. When we don't beg or barter with life or with God, then we don't beg or barter with others. We don't need others to meet our demands. This has a practical implication upon how we relate to each other. Instead of two centers meeting each other with needs and demands, whether they're spoken or not spoken. Instead of love being a transaction of give and take, love simply meets itself in the other, in all things. And so the natural byproduct of that is a natural kindness. We don't have to try to be more compassionate or more kind or more this or more that. There's a natural kindness. And there's a natural okayness with the other just as they are. Again, we have to be clear here, this does not negate the need, if you like, as a functioning self for healthy boundaries, where there is a right yes and a right no that arises from the wider, if you like, field of love. The no arises out of right alignment. The yes arises out of right alignment. But it doesn't arise out of the need for the self to defend itself. That makes a huge difference.